a very bright future ahead for Shalom indeed. And if you want to see her in action and see all the highlights you just witnessed then, that was against schoolgirls. She does the same thing in Super Rugby Women's against women and will be in action for the Queensland Reds in the Super Rugby Women's semi-final, exclusive on Stan Sport on Sunday afternoon from Ballymore. I'd like to call up to the stage now. Please make welcome Australian Schools Rugby Union Honorary Secretary, Mr. Stephen O'Donnell.
Thank you, Michael. David Mortimer, Phil Waugh, CEO, Rugby Australia, Ricky Stuart, special guests, sponsors, supporters, representatives of rugby schools, clubs and rugby jurisdictions all over the country, as well as our dear friends of Schools Rugby. Special mention to the greats of the 1985 Australian Schoolboys. Gents, please enjoy your reunion and thank you for sharing it with us. To our schools players from all the years past, and also a big thank you to St Edmunds, St Patrick's and Waverley College students for your help today. Apologies from our Australian Schools Rugby Union President, Mr. Kevin Culliver. He could not be here today. He's currently on his way to Japan with 50 players from his school for a tour, so unfortunately you're stuck with me. In these varying times, it is gratifying to see you all here today. The next few years is obviously some big, important times in rugby in Australia. British and Irish Lions tour, 2027 World Cup for the men and 2029 World Cup for the women. Australian Schools Union is a constant that provides the best possible rugby experience for our young players, as you've already heard today, setting the base and the foundation for those national and international experiences will hopefully enable those future rugby teams to perform well, especially in those home World Cups. It has existed for over 56 years, and this year will be the 51st Championships. As you've heard today, what a positive impact the participation in school-based rugby and then school-based representative rugby union has been for all the players and those future teams. Being a rugby experience run by teachers, this not only gives you a ready-made volunteer force, but with their innate vocation as teachers nurturing the young people, it gives us an extraordinary skill set which is second to none. Principals, headmasters, sport and program directors, as well as general teachers, work with thousands of clients and within enterprises worth tens of millions of dollars, so their expertise is extensive. The volunteerism, though, needs your support, and so many of you here today have generously assisted over many years. Last year, we celebrated Australian Schools Rugby with a magnificent championship in July, where both the boys and girls teams from all around the country came together in the spirit of competition and camaraderie. Phil Waugh spoke earlier today about what the 2025 Australian Schools Rugby and Rugby Australian Championships are going to look like, with even more states and territories involved. It will truly be a national championship. The boys last year played a valuable tri-series in Fiji with Fiji schools, and the Australian schoolgirls competed in the Global U7s in New Zealand. That was the first ever Australian schoolgirls team to tour overseas. Providing this as a pathway, we saw the girls immediately selected in the Rugby Australia youth team and higher selections. Days like today not only provide the support needed to materialise, but of course means it can be done in a cheerful atmosphere with camaraderie in pursuit of rugby. To everyone here, I want to thank you for your support, which will be used to ensure we have an Australian Schools Championship for both boys and girls to produce our Australian teams for higher representative honours, as we have done for over 50 years. The wonderful rekindling and positive relationship we now have with Rugby Australia enhances the youth opportunity space, and we welcome and thank Rugby Australia representatives and Phil Waugh in particular for his time and support of the Australian Schools Rugby Union. Rugby Australia and Australian Schools Rugby work hand in hand to develop, strengthen, foster and promote schools rugby in Australia by supporting Australian Schools Rugby Championships and other Australian Schools Rugby Union initiatives. The relationship provides an aligned and formal national schools pathway for both boys and girls and supports player development as well as selection to senior national teams. The Australian Schools Rugby Union programs will work within the national systems for talent management and the delivery of national team programs at both an under 16 and an under 18 level.